that the quality of the recordings here and the live streams, some people have been complaining and saying it's terrible. What are you doing? And the answer is we're live streaming, and LA's got a pretty terrible signal. Either that, or perhaps LA doesn't like phones from Portland, Oregon. So Michael and I have been driving this Tesla Model 3 long range. We rented it through Hertz. We didn't get a special deal, and we're on our way back to basically drop it off before we get on the plane and head back to Portland. We've just finished at the Super 73 launch event. I can now confirm that is where we were. I was very cautious about saying anything beforehand because they were very strict on, we didn't get any information at all. And when a company doesn't give you any information, it means they're kind of even more strict than embargoes. They just don't want anybody to talk about it until it actually happens. So we went to the Super 73 launch event. We've just filmed. I've just changed into a fresh t-shirt, and we're heading back to the airport. Now, Michael drove the Tesla yesterday, and Michael really liked it. Didn't you, Michael?
I did. It drove nice.
Michael doesn't like autopilot.
I hate it with a passion.
He didn't really even try it as a driver. He didn't like it as a passenger.
I hated it as a passenger. I did not want to try it as a driver.
So, but the supercharger experience was great. We drove all the way to San Diego. I think we can probably say who we were seeing in San Diego as well. We went to see Aptera in San Diego yesterday, and some of you guessed right. So we drove down to see Chris and Steve and the rest of the Aptera team down there, and we got to see what they're doing, and we got to have a ride in the beta prototype. I don't want to preempt that video, but there's going to be 2 videos coming soon on the channel from that, in addition to the Super 73. However, please be gentle and patient, because it's going to take us a long while to edit all of those. And I think in the last 48 hours, Michael and I have probably got 1 day's worth of sleep between us. So, what's the experience been like renting a Tesla Model 3 range through Hertz? Honestly, extremely pleasant. I know a lot of people were saying in the comments that, oh, Hertz will accuse you of stealing the car, etc, etc, etc. And, you know, I don't want to weigh in on that, because my rental experiences have always been pretty good. There are a couple of things that I do want to point out, though, that I will be bringing up with Hertz. And the first one here is the Sentry mode. So if you go to safety, oh, I don't think it's in Sentry, it's down here, isn't it? Where is the Sentry? I can't remember where it was. The Sentry mode, is it here?
It's the eyeball, I believe.
It's the eyeball. Where's the eyeball?
But then I also couldn't find a navigation.
So when you park up, I think you see Sentry mode. Sentry mode remains active, obviously. You can turn it on and off. And also, obviously, the dash cam remains on, and you can turn it on and off. But we noticed that it had recorded some events while we'd had the car, but it had also recorded automatically, as it does, moments when it thinks, oh, maybe you're going to have an accident, or maybe someone's going to hit you, and it records and stores those elements. So last night, for example, it recorded when we went through the barrier into the hotel. Well, not into the hotel, into the parking lot that had the name for the hotel, but wasn't actually attached to the hotel, as I quite snarkily told the hotel clerk. It recorded that, and it stays on here. And I have a feeling that if you were somebody who didn't want people to know where you'd been, and you didn't want people to know that you had been driving a certain place, it could be a security concern. And I do wonder if that would be something that Tesla would consider getting rid of for the Hertz rental cars. Not to say we're not going to let you record things, because I think as a driver it's very useful, especially with a rental car, to record incidences and to record Sentry mode events, especially as, you know, most rental cars, they're going to have a lot of things in them because you're traveling somewhere. Potentially that would be advantageous for thieves. So being able to continue to record things is very important. But at the same point, when I hand the car back to Hertz, I want all of my personal information to be completely wiped from the car. And so when we hand this back, we're going to go through and erase all of our Sentry Mode recordings, all of our trip recordings and dash cam recordings. And I was surprised that it wasn't A, done by Hertz, or B, it wasn't done by default. And I think that's a bit of a shame, really. Hey, look, there's your vault. Not really Michael's vault, obviously. Same colour as Michael's. And there is a Super 73. No, it's not a Super 73. It's a Super 73 look-alike. So,
real quick, we're going to give a special thank you to Anonymous Freak for his $10 donation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anonymous Freak. We will give you a high five next time we see you.
They said to pay yourself, Nikki.
Pay myself, Nikki. Oh dear. The downside is that Anonymous Freak also knows where I live. He's one of the few supporters who I also consider live, and so he might come and tell me off. Yes, I am going to.
Stop hiring video editors.
To be frank, oh, that BMW doesn't look like a BMW anymore. To be frank, half of the stuff that we do now, we wouldn't have been able to do without the wonderful work of Michael. It really has been amazing to see all of the awesome work that Michael's been doing. So yeah, the experience. Would I recommend you hire a car from Hertz? A Tesla from Hertz? Absolutely. The experience, and I'm not being told to say this, the experience was very good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very simple process. It was just like hiring any other car. Our Tesla came with a mobile charge connector. It came with a J1772 adapter. And last night we used a supercharger. We supercharged to what, 90% thereabouts. And then today when we were at the Super 73 event, although they had valet parking at the Super 73 event, we opted to park around the corner where there was a charge point charging station, and although the parking lot was a bit expensive, it had full security. And so we were able to charge this Model 3 long range all the way back up to 100%. So we're going to be returning it. We're 6 miles away, so we're going to be returning it with like a 95% state of charge.
Question. Oh, two-part. You have a €10 donation, and this person asked if it shows the previous GPS tracking information with the previous Sentry video.
I think it probably does. I mean, whatever Tesla normally does. Let me see. Sentry mode. See, Sentry mode on. Okay. And then obviously when you're parked, you can delete the dash cam clips, which I'm going to do now. You can delete obviously your Sentry mode clips as well, but it didn't do that previously. And a couple of people were asking, why can't you just register for a Tesla account and then use a Tesla app to activate supercharging? And the answer is that obviously you can't add a rented Tesla to your personal Tesla account, because technically nothing would stop you from, I guess, taking off with a Tesla. So you have to use this key card instead of using the app. I don't have a problem with that, and I don't know many people that do. Oh, Michael, guess what I just went to do?
What?
I just went like this with my left hand. Which, if you are a Chevy Bolt driver, you know is the regen on demand pedal. I single pedal drive everywhere, and I'm used to using the left pedal on my Bolt to slow down, because this battery's almost completely full. It's at 99%. There's not a whole lot of regenerative braking right now, so I'm just sort of coming to a stop a little bit more quickly. I'm going to say that you are already good there. It's going to be weird going back from LA back to Portland because we've had rain. Apparently there's been lots of rain and lots of dog poop. We have a young puppy called Ghost who has apparently been pooing everywhere inside the house. He's 5 months old and he's not completely house trained yet. He's getting there, but when I go away, there's one less person in the house to keep an eye on him. There's two less people because Michael works at the house during the week. And so he sneaks off when he wants to go to the bathroom instead of telling my wife. It's been very unpleasant for her.
Talking about me or the dog?
The
dog. I wasn't paying attention.
Unless you've been randomly pooing in my house.
Nope.
I mean, I know that you won't use
I caught
the
end of that conversation because I was paying attention to trying to hold this as steady as I can.
So the whole purpose of this video was just to say, look, we rented the Model 3 long range. It was very cool, and I do want to give a bit of a shout out to Tesla. This Tesla Model 3 is by far the best Tesla Model 3 I've driven. It's more refined, it's more quiet. The hardware on here is much more responsive, it's more reactive. The quality of the cameras on this, streets ahead of what we saw previously. Look at the quality of the cameras on this. The night vision on this is very, very good as well. I'm really impressed by how much improvement Tesla has managed to carry out with Model 3, literally through iterative design. We are now in a position where I would actually say the camera system on this car is as good as some other cars that I've seen that have come to market recently, and it really has pushed the bar up in terms of Tesla's recording quality. But obviously, of course, it also gives me a bit more confidence that Tesla is doing the right thing with its vision learning. If the quality of the cameras are this good, then of course Tesla's autopilot hardware can see much better. Now let's talk about autopilot for a second. I think autopilot in this car was far better, is far better than autopilot in Winter's car, even though I think they have the same version of autopilot. And there are some still niggles that I don't like about autopilot. Obviously the first one being that the steering wheel gets really stiff and it doesn't really let you nudge the car. Ford's Blue Cruise, Chevrolet's Thingy Cruise, I've forgotten what it's called, they all have the ability to just nudge the car over and the car stays in semi-autonomous mode. With this car, if you nudge that steering wheel too much, it just disengages autopilot and it goes off and has a sulk in the corner. And that can be distracting. And I wish there was a better way of handing over between the car driving and you driving, or to have a melded mode where you're actually saying to the car, I don't like how close you're getting to that median with that big concrete bollard, which is generally when I was disengaging it, because I was going, we are too close, and the car was going, you're fine. So overall, this is a much more pleasant experience. We haven't got inductive charging working on this, and I don't know if this has got inductive charging or not. I'm going to assume not. Everything else is really nice. I like the new interior. I like the front trunk. This is much quieter. This is new glass, the new double glazed glass. Much, much better. You can have a more pleasant conversation. The sound system in this car feels better, as I think as a consequence of the improved sound deadening. And the whole thing feels like it's a much more mature vehicle. Frankly, from a mature automaker, this now feels like the kind of quality that I would have expected from most modern automakers. And I think Tesla has learned a lot in the last 6-7 years. And it shows. It really, really shows. And I think if this is a sign of what the new S's are like and the new X's are like, I cannot wait to get behind the wheel of those. And there are my thoughts. I don't know if there are any closing questions, Michael.
I think there was a few, but I forgot what they were. And
You can scroll up.
I can. Let's see. Questions. Oh, are we returning the car in the same state of charge as we got it?
We're returning it with more because I'm a nice person. Sorry, I accidentally hit the accelerator with my foot. We are returning it with more, and I think if I would just say, if you are an EV renter, you're renting an EV for an event or something, you're traveling out of town, I would urge every one of you to always try and return your car full, because it's not like petrol, right, where if you returned your car with an extra 10 gallons in the tank, that would cost you a lot of money. with an EV, it really doesn't cost you a lot of extra money just to fill the damn thing up. And the benefits are that if you do fill that car all the way up, the car can then go back out on a rental fleet more quickly, which means more people get to experience electric vehicles. So wherever possible, I do try and return my EVs with as full a state of charge as I absolutely can.
One other question: are we doing a Tesla Y review soon?
We don't have access to a Y. I know a couple of people have offered. I need to look back in my emails and see if I can find someone that will let us borrow a Y. We've had one very kind donation of a Plaid Model S. We've had a very kind donation of someone offering us full self-driving, so we're going to test that out soon. The biggest problem is we have too many videos to make and we don't have enough money. Events like this event has cost more. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But you know, actually taking time out of the office to come on events has basically taken 2 days out of our schedule, and it's going to take 3 days before Michael is back editing normally and I'm back at my desk normally, because he had to pack up beforehand, and then tomorrow morning we're going to offload. I thought about offloading on the plane. Honestly, I could, and I think that wouldn't do either of us any good. We might make some mistakes. So we'll be offloading this video tomorrow. We are going to do more videos. EV6 coming up. We've got a video involving a Mustang Mach-E coming up. We have a certain high-end luxury sedan coming. We're going to be reviewing. We've got another high-end luxury sedan that we're in talks about reviewing. And then we've got a very top secret, super secret, cannot talk about it yet in case it doesn't happen, thing that we're going to be doing in about just under 2 months, and I'll leave it at that. And I can't talk about that yet either. But so we've got a lot on our plate in the next couple of months, but we'll keep pushing videos out and we'll keep making content. We've also got a new bike review coming and a scooter review coming that we need to do, and I'm glad we're not traveling that way. So any other questions before we say goodbye?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right, gang, well, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening to me rant about the pleasant experiences that I've had with the Tesla Model 3 long range. This has been a much nicer experience. Does that mean I would buy one? No, I still wouldn't buy one because I don't like sedans. And as someone said to me the other day, would I rather have a Bolt or a Model 3? Honestly, I'd rather have a Chevy Bolt with Tesla supercharging and set Tesla range. That would be cool. But I would worry about putting chicken feed and bales of hay and straw and towing all of the stuff that we tow with our Bolts. We really beat up our Bolts, and I would worry about doing the same thing with a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y. Not because I genuinely think they can, but because I know that Tesla repairs would be quite expensive and we'd have to go back to Tesla, as opposed to if we need to repair anything else that we own, we can just go back to whichever garage we trust. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Support us through Patreon, Bitcoin and Ko-fi, and make sure that you hit the subscribe bell and then all of the extra little bits and bobs that need to be done. If you haven't already seen the community post about some comments that have been made lately about my health, please go read it because it's got some important things in. Winter and a couple of other team members wanted to do that because we just wanted to clear the air and make sure everybody was up to date. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Keep evolving.